1978, Mark Roth captured the prestigious Quaker State Open and went on to completely dominate the PBA Tour, winning a record 8 titles and cashing in every single event that he entered. Walter Ray Williams Jr. effectively began his pursuit of Roth's all-time record this year in March by winning the flagship City Open. By July, Walter Ray was really rolling, notching his 5th championship of the season down Tucson way. Then the final stop of the '93 Summer Tour resulted in victory number 7. And tonight, Walter Ray Williams Jr., as the top seed, will look to wrestle at least a portion of Mark Roth's 15-year record. ESPN and the Professional Bowlers Association present the championship round finals of the Greater Detroit Open. In tonight's opening match, a pair of talented right-handers, Mike Shady and Steve Jaros. In the middle of the stack this week, the winner of the 1993 ABC Masters Championship, Norm Duke. Qualifying second for the 2nd year in a row here, the 1987 PBA Rookie of the Year, Ryan Shafer. And, of course, on top of the stack after 42 games, for the 7th time this year as the top seed, Walter Ray Williams Jr. has his sights set on title number 8 in 1993. And welcome, everyone, to Taylor Lanes, located in Taylor, Michigan. Hi, everybody. I'm Denny Schreiner, along with PBA Hall of Famer Mike Durbin. And, Mike, we may see a Major League record tied here tonight. One of the great records of all time on the PBA Tour. Most victories in a season. It's held right now by Mark Roth back in 1978. Walter Ray has a chance, but what about your greatest year? Did you ever have a shot at something like that?
Oh, Dan, my greatest year pales in comparison with what Walter Ray is accomplishing this year. He is just almost beyond belief.
Let's take a look now specifically at some of the numbers that he has posted here in 1993, starting with the number of events.
And we can see that these are very similar. Walter Ray's bowled 4 more events, but the cashes were within 1. The top 24 finishes are within 1, and the top 5 are the same. And the titles could be equal after tonight.
It's interesting, Mike. He told me that he has cashed 15 consecutive. That's his best of all time, and 7 straight finals as well. Let's look at some of the other numbers, and this really starts to tell the story about the dominating year.
And they're a little different here. You can see that Walter Ray has bowled 4 more events, and he's averaging 4 more pins per game. He's bowled more games on television because Mark won 4 of those events in 1978 with non-televised events. The average is 20 pins a game higher, and the money is just about doubled, Dan.
And you take a look at that 15-7 record. If you look at what he has done lately, he has won 10 of his last 11 matches in the championship round, averaging .253. Now, that brings me to the next question, the obvious question. What about the other 4 finalists tonight? Do any of them have a chance to beat this guy?
Well, Dan, anything can happen in a one-game match. That's the old adage. But Walter Ray is so hot, he's been jumping on his opponents initially, finishing them off. If anybody has a chance, I think it's the player with the most experience and maybe the most moxie, and that would be Norm Duke.
Okay, don't forget $23,000 in first-place prize money on the line. Should Walter Ray win, he goes to $291,000. Opening match ready to start between Mike Shady and Steve Jaros. Shady, the former collegiate All-American, will open up on the left-hand lane. Championship round pair, 39 and 40. And in terms of what they did during the practice session, the shot has moved a little outside as opposed to where they played throughout the week, and they threw plenty of strikes.
Yeah, they threw a lot of strikes. They were playing several of them right at the second arrow in practice, although that seemed to change at the end of the practice session.
Shady comes out jumping with a strike on 39.
A lot of speed on that shot by Mike. Steve Jaros using the only non-reactive resin ball of the top 24 finalists. Made it to the championship round with this ball.
Interesting story behind that piece of equipment. Opening shot, a little high, but he carries the strike.
In the track area. Yeah, that ball was designed by Carmen Salvino, and Carmen's quite proud of it. Right here, Steve Jaros, a 4-step delivery. Ball's held right at the waist high. He's going to step and push. He's going to step and push at the same time. Now watch the timing here. Slightly late at this point. Now as he hit the next to last step, the ball's right at the peak of the backswing. See if it's still going up there slightly. So the ball's slightly late. Pulls it through, on balance. Controlled swing all the way through by Steve.
Beautiful reaction. 3 shots, 3 strikes. And Shady will look to tie this match up.
And you can see how Jaros kind of matches the arm swing to the foot speed there. I mean, there's, you know, if you put it on a scale of muscle, you know, or free swing, that's about a 50% free swing and 50% control there. No, Mike has a much freer swing.
Caught that one nice at the bottom of the swing. And this match is dead even after a pair of shots by each player.
2 very good players here. Again, the ball's held just a little above the waist there. He's going to move it. He's moving the ball now. A little bitty first step with the left here. Watch how straight the swing is. Now he hits that pivot step. Look at how high that backswing is. Much higher than Jaros's. A lot more power can be generated. On balance the same way. Both guys very square at the line and on balance. Now, as you watch him bowl, you don't notice that backswing is that high until you see it on the replay as he doubles.
Well, he's a rhythmic, athletic type player, really a fit player out here on the national tour.
So the guys are picking up right where they left off in practice, throwing a lot of strikes.
Well, these 5 players, Mike, averaged almost 235 on this pair of lanes throughout the week.
That's serious stuff.
Yeah, a lot of strikes.
That's almost as much as you average.
Well,
yeah.
For 2 games, perhaps. Another nice swing. Will it carry? Yes, it does. Huh. We've seen nothing but X's thus far.
Well, scoreboard tells the tale right there. All even after 3. All the guys on the telecast are young tonight with one exception. He's 28, 9 years a pro, 2 titles, won the same tournament 2 years in a row in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Boy, as important as the PBA regional program is nowadays, I think I'm going to ask our graphics people to add that on there. He has 12 PBA regional titles.
That gives you an idea of how good a player he is. Because he doesn't compete on the national tour on a real regular basis as he gets our first non-strike of the initial match, leaving the 4-pin.
Point that I'm going to make as well is the player that won last week, Roger Bowker, has an unbelievable PBA regional record.
Yeah. What did he have? Somewhere around 16 victories in 27 seconds. I think that's what it was.
Either that or 19 wins. 19 or 16 comes to mind. A bunch.
A bunch, yeah. He's got one more national title now, too.
Yeah, he's pretty happy about it as well. First spare of the opening match, provided by Steve Jaros. A high-scoring affair here at Taylor Lanes in Taylor, Michigan. When we come back, the conclusion of match number 1.
Critics call it the new feel-good hit of the season. It's hot and pulsing. It's warm and misty. A must experience for the entire family. Introducing the new shower massage. If you only take 1 shower this year, this should be it.
Imagine a cold medication so effective 1 tablet keeps symptoms from coming back a full 24 hours. Introducing Effidac 24, the first cold tablet for consistent 24-hour relief. Look, Sudafed drops off after 6 hours, Tavist after 12. So your symptoms keep coming back. But just 1 Effidac gives consistent relief for 24 hours. So your symptoms don't come back. New 24-hour Effidac keeps cold symptoms from coming back.
The championship round finals of the Greater Detroit Open are being brought to you by Effidac 24, the first cold tablet for consistent 24-hour relief. And by the original shower massage by Teledyne Waterpick. Mike Shady in the 4th frame has 3 consecutive strikes, is off to a very good start. Shady's been a good performer in the championship round.
Certainly has.
Very solid player.
Keeping it right up there, too. Both these guys are 28 years old, so they're right in that young lion category. See how square he is at the line? Between the 2nd and 3rd arrows. Really looks wired on this pair of lanes, Dan.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. told you and I during the practice session that these lanes were kind of easy so far.
Well, there's a proud father right there.
Looks relaxed.
He does. Much more relaxed than most of the interested spectators.
4-5 in a row. Not to be. 3-pin stands, and that was the first errant shot by Mike Shady.
And he looked like he got that ball pushed out soon and had a run to catch up with it.
Mike averaged about 228 on this pair of lanes throughout the week. 11-5 in television match play coming in. So that's
a good record.
Yeah, excellent record for a young player.
At the 3-pin. No trouble.
Don't forget, coming up this weekend on ESPN, CFA action comes your way. Pittsburgh and Rutgers. Scarlet Knights looking to win a couple down the stretch and ensure themselves of postseason play. I should say it's Thursday night at 8 p.m. And, of course, our illustrious television coordinator, Chuck Pisano, is a graduate of Rutgers University.
Well, Pittsburgh's been struggling a little bit this year, but Steve Jaros is not struggling. Is his mother applauds? Well, he looks like her, doesn't he?
And rightfully so. Solid opening match. You mentioned a couple of guys the same age, about the same experience. Two titles for Steve, one for Mike. A couple of upper-coming players that have the experience.
Yeah, you figure that they'd be hitting the peak of their careers right about this. They say you hit your athletic peak around 27, 28.
Of course, you've saved it for another decade. You were better
Something like
after
that.
40 than you were in your 20s.
Oh, I always was different.
Oh, how different. That's another story for another time. Beautiful comeback double by Steve Jaros. And the match is back to even.
Excellent opening match here.
Norm Duke next in line. Ryan Shafer, who qualified second a year ago, is second again coming into this week. And, of course, the big story here in Taylor, Michigan, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Be interesting to see in that championship match. If one of these guys should happen to get there, if Shady throws another one, whether they still freewheeling it against Walter Ray or whether the intimidation factor will come into play.
I think the feeling against him is that you just cannot make a mistake, especially early on, as we take a look at an up-close and personal look of Mike Shady.
One national title. Replay of that last shot. Right. Well, just right of the third arrow. Beautiful reaction, though. He is just labeling the pocket. So is Charles. More speed. Good reaction. Takes the lead.
Ball went a little longer on the left-hand lane that trip. Another strike for Shady. He leads by 10. And we'll come back and finish up the opening game here in Taylor right after these messages.
All car buyers, there's something new for you in Lancaster County. Mac Jones, known for Fords, known for quality service, known for acres of inventory, known for the area's best deals, just got better. Mac Jones now adds Chevrolet, Geo, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile to its lineup. See us now for your best deal at Mac Jones, Chevy, Geo, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, 700 North Hanover Street, Elizabethtown.
When my doctor said to start exercise, I knew I wasn't 25 anymore. That's when I called Bill, my nationwide insurance agent.
Jim had some questions, so we did a nationwide care review. We talked about his financial plan, life insurance, disability coverage, even retirement.
And we covered everything.
It turns out Jim was okay just the way he was.
Insurance-wise, right?
Oh, right.
For all your insurance needs, call Bob Cayley in Elizabethtown or Jack Tyndall in Mount Joy.
Don't forget, the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Brunswick Open comes your way Tuesday, November 2nd, 11:30 p.m. Central Time from the Chippewa Bowl in South Bend, Indiana. Steve Jaros on a double, down by 10.
Trying to get the match back to even. Wow, did you see that? Knock that 10 out of there. That looked like a weak 10 all the way. Maybe I'm judging on my ball.
That's that high-power bowling ball.
Yeah. Now watch the 6-pin. The ball's going to deflect here, but that 6 comes right out of the channel and gets that 10. Well, as a player, when you hit there and carry that weak 10, you'll love to see that. It just sends confidence surging through your body. As we look at the PBA commissioner, Mike Connor.
One of the things that Carmen Salvino mentioned about that new ball is it's a completely different type of surface than a reactive resin urethane.
Well, this is back and forth, Dan. Who's going to crack first?
During that last commercial break, I looked at Mike and I said, hey, this is going to be 279, 279, a tie.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, he's got that average beat already.
You have to throw strikes to maintain pace in this game. Oh, well, so much for 279 as the 9-pin stands.
And Shady says, why now? It hits just a hair tight in the pocket. Now watch that 5-pin chop. The ball chops the 5 right off the 9.
Powerful shot.
Oh, it was.
As a pro, there's nothing you can do but pick up the spare and move on to the next frame.
That's all. With a conversion, 11 down.
And there's the inventor of that new high-power ball, PBA Hall of Famer Carmen Salvino, not doing nearly as much bowling these days because he's busy trying to sell bowling balls.
And he does a lot of work in chemistry. He's become a really an accomplished chemist in his old age.
Been around the game for so many years, one of the great, great champions and personalities in the history of professional bowling. It's good to see him back out here. One solid 9-pin, and that's what's going through Shady's mind at this point.
Boy, it could cost him. The only consolation he has is he couldn't have thrown it any better. He's down 11. Jaros' fate is in his own hands right now.
A little more room. 6-pin kicks out the 10 again. Mike Durbin's going to be ordering from Carmen Salvino before this match is over.
Yeah, right.
You could have won another 30 titles.
Yeah, right.
With all the 10 pins you left?
Well, right now, Steve Jaros can win this game if he can get one more strike. The first one of the 10th.
That's left of target. Held beautifully, and flush city for Steve Jaros, who is just going to keep moving right along.
Such a nice, simple game. Extended arm swing, on balance. Looked like it hit right over the 3rd arrow that time. Just finished flush in the 1-3. All 10 in the pit. Keeps it on the lane now, and he moves on to face Norm Duke.
I'd like to be Mike Shady and maybe shoot 258 and have an early exit in this one.
Yeah.
Well, when you can trip the 4, slap the 10, and carry everything in between, you got the whole 9 yards.
And I know he has one avid rooter for him right back here, I'll tell you what.
279, a possibility. Terrific opening game for Steve Jaros. 279. And don't forget, coming up Friday, October 29th, beginning at 7:30, Outside the Lines. Coaching in the 90s, an outstanding special on ESPN. You won't want to miss that. Mike Shady with a wry smile.
Unbelievable. Great game. Kind of reminiscent of Kelly Kaufman last week with his 258, and he came up short, too. I guess he got a little more than 250s now, Denny.
Scores this week on the championship round pair as Mike Shady says goodbye here from Taylor. When we come back, Mike Durbin's average builder, and if I'm not mistaken, Larry Lickstein will be a special guest this week, and they're going to talk bowling equipment when we come back.
Just one more strike for a 300 game. For the inside track on your favorite bowlers, become part of the PBA fan club.
All fan club members receive the PBA media guide and pro programs along with your official membership card. Also, for a limited time only, this Millionaires Club poster is included.
So don't wait. Call today. Call 1-800-299-4PBA for your membership in the PBA fan club.
Bud Light, the official beer of League Bowling and the Professional Bowlers Tour, brings you the Bud Light Bowling Hall of Fame Tournament. Registration for local qualifying is going on now. Contact your local bowling proprietor for more information.
Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new installation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
Catch the Shooting Stars Saturday, October 30th on pay-per-view. Undefeated Michael Carbajal puts his IBF and WBC light flyweight championship on the line against Domingo Sosa. Oscar De La Hoya continues his climb in the junior lightweight division. Plus, veteran Lupe Aquino squares off against Verno Phillips for the super welterweight crown. See it live on pay-per-view. Call your local cable operator.
In the 1960s, when I started the PBA Tour, most everybody used a hard rubber bowling ball. Then in the 70s, the plastic or polyester bowling ball took over. Then we hit the 80s, and we saw the advent of the urethane bowling ball. Now we're in the 90s, and there's a new rage. It's called the reactive resin bowling ball. And the question comes to mind, well, why is this ball so popular? What's the difference? Why is everybody using it? Well, to answer these questions, we have maybe the foremost expert on the PBA Tour that we could have. He's been the Player Services Director for the PBA Tour for the last 20 years. He's responsible for drilling almost all of the pros bowling ball. Welcome, Larry Littstein.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be back.
Okay, let's get right to the heart of it, Larry. Here we have a regular urethane ball, and here we have a reactive resin bowling ball. What's the difference between these two balls, and why is the reactive resin so popular today?
Well, this is one of the earlier introductions of the urethane ball. This ball came out about 8 years ago. And as the ball companies learned how to adjust the urethane cover stock, they've added chemicals to that cover stock. This ball will hook on urethane lane surfaces, but this ball will not hook anywhere near as much as this ball. And the reason is this ball here is designed to skid at the early part of the lane and hook when it gets to a friction spot, similar to a dragster tire on a racetrack. This ball stores energy as it's going down the lane. It goes down the lane sideways and forward, about 3 miles an hour sideways, 18, 19 miles an hour forward. So when the ball does hit the friction spot, it jumps like a dragster tire on a track.
And it hits the pins real hard.
It slaps them real hard, and I think people see that tonight, especially for the straighter player. People like Walter Ray Williams who need a little extra hook on the back end. This is one of the main reasons that Walter Ray Williams is having a great year. The 6-pin goes into the right sideboard, kicks the 10 out. Years ago, this type of ball would leave it.
Okay, you're the average bowler out there watching this tip tonight. Is this bowling ball for you?
Most definitely, especially if you're older and you lose your wrist a little bit and you need a little more hitting power. It's a fantastic ball. It gives you hitting power, and I would advise everyone to get one.
Now you're getting personal. Well, you may want to do that. You may want to get some kind of reactive resin bowling ball. Next week, we'll be coming to you from Indianapolis, and we'll be talking about the pin placement on a bowling ball. We'll have Larry back to explain more to us about that. We'll see you then.
No question about it. Durbin lost his fastball 10, 15 years ago. 279, 245 the score in match number 1. We'll be back with game 2 right after this.
At Radio Shack, we've always made the latest technology easy to understand for your family. And now our CD-ROM computers make it easy to bring entire libraries to life. Experience the power of Tandy multimedia computers. Only at Radio Shack.
The 3M Filtrete Clean Air Filter gets more of the small stuff that's in your air out. Stuff an ordinary furnace and air conditioner filter would miss. Like more of the dust. More of the pollen and mold. More of these particles that could irritate your allergies. It even gets more animal dander. Try the Filtrete Clean Air Filter. It gets more of the aggravating things in your air out. Even smoke. Look for the 3M Filtrete Clean Air Filter wherever you buy furnace or air conditioner filters.
How does your Genie screwdrive door opener work?
You got this big screw, see? And it's real long, and the thing just turns like that, so the door slides real quiet.
Any mom with a lot of kids could use a Genie.
Genie screwdrive, built for a lifetime.
My dandruff and itch are awful. I'll try anything. Denorex tingles. Head and Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles.
That's why I started using Denorex. No flakes, no itch.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
Steve Jaros, fresh from that 279 game, will start match number 2. Take on Norm Duke out of Oklahoma City. And let's see if Steve can continue the string. He finished with the last 8 in that game.
I'll tell you what. He looked invincible in that game. He looked very good in practice then. He was striking from everywhere in practice. From outside, he tried there and was striking. And immediately, as soon as you miss the pocket, up jumps the 6-7-10.
Is that just less ball speed there coming out of the long break?
Well, the ball speed was down a little bit, but he doesn't throw real hard to begin with.
That's the reality of the professional game on television. 1 minute, you're shooting 279, last 8 crowds behind you, everything is easy, and then you start another match, and you're staring at a guy like Norm Duke, and you open in the first frame.
Duke, who takes a full approach, snaps that 10-pin out of there. Duke with the heels hanging on. Now watch the left foot, Dan. It will go back. Now he starts, and it's 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the pivot step right there. The nice high backswing. He's going to drive through with a lot of power. Again, on balance at the line. All 3 players.
Tremendous hand action. Really snaps through that bowling ball. So Norm Duke comes out. Let Steve Jaros know that he is lined up as well on this pair of lanes.
He really likes the left lane tip. Duke does.
Probably has a little hold, a little swing, and a little in between.
Yeah, he's got a little more ball speed than Steve right now.
More loft, a little more hook. Solid 9 was there for a moment and then disappeared.
Head pin had to come off the wall to get that one, Denny. Big shot coming up for Steve right now. I mean, Duke is lined up. Steve Jaros, you know, obviously was lined up the whole first game, but he's got to figure out whether that was the lane or himself on this left lane.
I think just a little more ball speed.
I think he'll move another board left. I really do. When he's feet.
Same target?
Same target. Whatever he did, it was perfect. I think he moved the board, though. It really looked like it to me. Playing right around the 3rd arrow. Nice slide. Boy, he come around that ball nice. Yeah, it looked like he moved just a hair deeper. Whatever it was, a perfect adjustment, all 10 in the pit. Duke better keep striking.
Light hit shaker on the right-hand lane. As Karen, nice view of Norm's wife, Karen. Yeah. Beautiful young lady on hand to watch the proceedings tonight. She looked a little nervous before this one started.
Well, did you notice when they came over holding hands together? It's a joint venture right here. They're both in this together.
shot on the left-hand lane. Norm Duke means business here this evening. He averaged 249.3. What did they have up the last time?
I don't know. Maybe they just like her so much they want to put her up all the time.
Oh, all right. I think maybe they had the wrong graphic the last time.
Okay.
Goes to show you what we know. Oh, it said it was Ryan Shafer's fiancée. He's going to be in big trouble. This time the 10-pin won't fall.
He was snapping it out that first game. A little bit more room this time. You see him whip that ball up with one hand. I picked it up like it was a 10-pound ball there. I'll tell you what. Strong young man.
All right, cross lane. No problem with the spare. We'll have a championship a little bit later on here in bowling, but we've got a double championship coming your way tonight on Top Rank Boxing. A couple of welterweight championship fights. And I know you'll be watching those, Michael. As big a boxing fan as you are, that all comes your way as soon as we're done live from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Daryl Tyson, he's no relation to Mike, is he?
I couldn't tell you that. Bernstein will know. We'll call him during the break.
Okay. Steve trips out that 4. Norm Duke, with a sizable 32-pin lead right now, wants to increase it. And Norm is an excellent match game player, has been since he was a teenager. He knows how to put opponents away.
That ball really came off his hand beautifully.
Yeah, that was clean all the way.
No jinxing here, but Norm Duke was the only player to shoot 300 in this tournament this week. He did so in game number 5 of qualifying round number 2.
And of course, we got close last week. We had the first 9 last week by Roger Bowker in the semifinal match.
Boys are flirting with another perfect game.
See him blow that air out just before he's ready to throw.
That one just was fitted in there so nicely. That was as good a strike as you're ever going to see anywhere, anytime. When we come back, will he be able to throw 6 more? That's what we'll find out.
Why is it always the same old story? Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. When it comes to a great beer, we wrote the book.
It happens only twice a year. Sears National Hardware Sale. Pick up the 75-piece Craftsman Mechanics tool set with 3 quick-release ratchets and case, only $59.99. Or get a 19-piece screwdriver set, 4-piece plier set, or a 10-piece combination wrench set. All Craftsman, all guaranteed forever, all your choice, just $19.99. And this 20-inch toolbox with metal tray, also only $19.99. It's the biggest hardware event of the season, and it's only at Sears.
Saturday, a bowl-bound bonanza. Wheatley and the Wolverines battle Wisconsin. Braves and the Orangemen take on West Virginia, and Arizona's defense tackles UCLA live on ESPN.
While we were away, Steve Jaros continued his excellent bowling on the right lane. This was for a double. Then he went to the left lane, and this is not a replay, but sure looks like it, doesn't it? And then Norm Duke just keeps it going. This is for 7, folks. And back live.
8 in a row. You bet. Norm Duke with the first 8. He'll have a pop, I have a feeling, because as you accurately described, Michael, he loves the left-hand lane. If he gets a strike in the ninth, he's got a real pop.
Oh, he has a real pop. Of course, so did Roger Bowker last week. He loved that right lane last week and was able to do it. So Norm Duke, though, is a very confident young man.
Another premium premium shot by Steve Jaros, but this is going to be too little, too late.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The match is not over yet, but Jaros may be in the position that Mike Shady was in last game, that he could bowl 258 and lose. If he strikes here, he still gets Duke's attention. Duke would have to mark the last 2 frames in order to lock him out.
Both Ryan Shafer and Walter Ray Williams Jr. are watching this one as well.
Wow, we've seen that before, haven't we?
Twice now. Shady left one in a pivotal position, and now Steve Jaros has a solid 9.
He got it off the wall earlier in this match.
That's right. Headpin did the job. That's tough on you to throw it that well and ended up with a solid 9 pin.
Well, that's one of the results of these power bowling balls now, Dan, and the light pins, they just drive through. And we're going to find out whether you accurately predicted this back in the 5th frame. I'll tell you what, and Duke loves this with the crowd. When the crowd starts yelling Duke, Duke, like that, he plays off. It just feeds to him.
PBA will award $10,000 extra for a perfect game.
Just a little quick with the feet that time, but
all Jaros can do is say congratulations. A brilliant opening game by Norm Duke, who I think you're right, Mike, just zipped that maybe a mile an hour, maybe a half a mile an hour faster than he had been on that lane.
Yeah, it looked like he got into the oil a little bit earlier and then finished hard at the back end that these reactive balls are supposed to do, but it's 10 for 6 right around the 10. Commissioner says, I'm sorry, I don't have to give you that 10,000.
That's right. She was checking. Mike, do you have that check in your pocket? Yeah. And well, maybe next game.
Well, he's wired. It could happen. We got some big scores on this telecast, eh?
We're not kidding. Well, we hate to be redundant here at Taylor Lanes in Taylor, Michigan, but we've had a pair of 279s. One with a victory in the opening game, one with a victory in game number 2. So Steve Jaros now knows what Mike Shady felt like about 20 minutes ago.
Right.
Solid performance this week by Steve Jaros, who is going to bowl a beautiful game and lose. And don't forget, coming up this weekend, boys are playing my favorite golf course in the United States, the Olympic Club in San Francisco, the Tour Championship. Paul Azinger, the defending champion, and many say he might come back and win a second time. It all comes your way Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on ESPN. Are we on? That's what I thought. We're still here, and it's a strike for 237. Just kind of wondering where we're going one way or another. 279. And now it's 236 for Steve Jaros. Well, you and I are jarred. We've seen so many strikes, Mike. We're not sure whether we're here or there. When we come back, that man right there, we'll talk to Mike Dervin. He's hustling over right now to chat with Mr. Mike.
For Time Warner Cable's fall installation offer. Call today and get installation absolutely free. And you'll receive a free large pizza from Domino's. Install HBO, Cinemax, Prism, Showtime, the Disney Channel, the Movie Channel. Install any or all of our services absolutely free. Free installation, free pizza. It's all free. Oh, this offer is so good it makes me want to... Oh.
Start out the evening on ESPN. And don't forget, next week, in terms of the touring professionals, they'll be heading to Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana for the Touring Players Championship. All the action starts 7:30 next Wednesday night. And don't forget, as soon as we're done, it's a double championship tonight. The leather will fly. A couple of welterweight championship fights on Top Rank Boxing. Some outstanding performers. It's live from Atlantic City, New Jersey, when we are finished up here in Taylor, Michigan. All right, don't forget, some big fights coming your way as soon as we are done with the bowling here this evening. And Mike Durbin trying to wrap up Walter Ray Williams Jr., who is finishing up his practice shots. That's right, Mike, we have stretched as long as we can stretch. It's time to send it downstairs to Mr. Durbin.
Thank you so much, Denny. And all with me is the man of the hour, Walter Ray Williams Jr., in this position again. Walter Ray, the first question, you know, it's been an absolutely unbelievable year for you so far. You know, 15 championship appearances. You're going for the record 8th win to tie Mark Roth. Just how important is that to you?
Well, it's kind of important, but I've had such a great year. I'm just elated with what's happened so far. And even if I can't get the 8th win, I'm still going to be very happy with the way I bowled this year. But I'm definitely going to go out and try and get it.
Let's look back in history a little bit. Mark accomplished this feat back in 1978. I think that was just about 2 years before you came on tour. Where were you then? What were you doing?
1978, I was pretty much just starting to bowl again. I started bowling in spring of 77, and 1978, I was just starting to bowl, really.
Well, when Mark was doing that, he influenced a lot of people. Did he have, the way he was bowling and everything, have any influence on you?
I'd say a little bit. I remember watching him and Earl and Marshall and a few other guys on TV, and it definitely was exciting to go home and watch those guys Saturday afternoon. It was something I really wanted to do. Okay, a question right here. Mark Roth has been known as a great bowler. How would you compare yourself with him? Not quite that good. I'm working on it, though. Give me a couple more years like this, and maybe I'll be great.
Okay. One last question. Walter Ray Williams Jr., great year or great bowler?
It's a great year, but I'm going to try and make it a great bowler, too.
I think you're well on your way to that. And we're going to find out whether Norm Duke can continue striking as he did in the last match, as he's coming up against a young lion in Ryan Shafer.
You're about to see the power of subliminal advertising. Now, can you name bowling's hookingest and bashingest ball? It's the Rhino Pro line in several distinctive urethane formulations to improve any game. Only at your local pro shop.
A family grows. With care and with planning. With life insurance from the Farmers Insurance Group, your money can grow for later on. Life insurance can help protect your family now as well. Farmers Life Insurance. For safety today and security tomorrow. Farmers Insurance Group. For life.
Now when you fly with Michael Jordan, you can have the seat right next to him. Showtime. Get the whole show in this great new video, Michael Jordan Airtime. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. The best way to get inside the action for over 20 million readers. Call this toll-free number now and let one of sports' most celebrated stars be your tour guide on an unforgettable behind-the-scenes journey. Here we go to
The rim seems like a big old huge bucket.
This is the greatest performance. Catch the excitement of the NBA. Then go with Michael to Monte Carlo and Barcelona for an inside look at it all.
Nothing could equal what we were going through in Monte Carlo.
Get your free video and 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.39 an issue. Save over 52% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Take off with your free Jordan video and catch the next flight in Sports Illustrated. Call now.
Top Rank Boxing. Two-time world champion Roger Mayweather looks for one more title as he battles Daryl Tyson. Plus, Larry Barnes takes on Daryl Lattimore in a welterweight championship. Top Rank Boxing, tonight at 9 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Norm Duke, fresh from a 279 performance, ready to start here in the semifinal.
Steve Jaros, after that 279, started with a split.
Not Norm Duke.
So much for that theory.
Yeah.
Well, the boys are averaging 259.75 thus far in the championship round tonight.
Well, we could maybe be setting some records here tonight. Possibly.
Time to rev things up a little bit right here on the right-hand lane.
Ryan Shafer, who's struggled in his TV appearances in the past.
Almost left the 10 with the 2. Power player deluxe. Very strong player for his size.
But he seems to be, always has seemed to me to be the type of player that needs to work into a rhythm. And coming out in a one-game must-perform situation hasn't been his strength so far.
This is his 6th appearance in the championship round. Looking for that elusive first victory, not only on the PBA Tour, but in the championship round.
Holds the ball below the waist. He's going to take 5 steps. There goes the first one. It's all control. Noah. Pretty straight swing at this point. Here's the pivot step. Swing is not as high as you think. Now, he is going to come through with a lot of power and pull up with his whole body. Wrist and body, and he's lifting with his toenails.
Dug in at the foul line. He averaged 254 this week on this fair lanes. Ooh, he caught all of that one. Light hit exploder. Messenger doesn't deliver the message, and the 10-pin stands.
Well, that thing came around twice trying to get it, still missed it, I'll tell you. Watch the head pin. Watch the head pin. Comes in light. Off the sideboard. Comes around, misses the 10. It's going to go all the way around and miss it again. He's going to try and knock it down, though, with the second ball. See, he's broken his wrist right here. He's going to throw hard and straight at this.
Won all 8 of his matches last night and averaged 241 in the final 8 games of play to qualify for the telecast. Stands at 5'8", 150, 27 years of age, and trying to get rid of those zeros.
He's 27. Shady and Jaros were 28. Duke's 29.
You trying to tell me this is a young man's game?
Oh, did you see that 6 just kind of reach out and say, snap it down. Watch the 6-pin, second from the right. Goes into the channel. It's not going to get up there. Now watch it come back. It's back. Boy, that's just bonus time when you get that kind of stuff.
And you know, anytime they get a break like that, they make up for it on the next shot.
Oh, they're going to capitalize, right? He's going to strike here. Well, he did. He got it into the oil, but see, when he gets it into the oil, it's actually hitting a little light then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he pulls a little bit. It doesn't go high. Here's the shot. It's just a little left of target here. Left of the third arrow. You see that? Goes a little further down, finishes late, and just not the power. Same type of shot. He didn't get the nice kick that he got the time before.
Norm Duke with that backup style format for the spares cross lane. Fired 10 strikes in match number 1. Opened up with a couple here in game number 2. Let's see if Ryan Shafer can find the pocket and carry a strike.
He's got 2 shots on. He's got to get his act together right now because Duke's not going to let up.
Ooh, this time diced him up. An explosive shot as Victoria and Art look on. And you see that beautiful young lady to the left just over Mom's shoulder? That's Karen. That's his sister, Karen Wakefield, who is one of the outstanding players on the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour.
Sure.
And when she doesn't make the top 20 for it, when she doesn't make the telecast, she works as my statistician on the Ladies Tour. And she's an accountant.
Well, she's in the right job,
yes,
though. I can see that.
She knows the numbers.
Yeah.
Keeps me in line.
Big shot here for Ryan. Needs to double and get even in the match. Oh. See him move his hand to the right. He's, hold, please, hold.
There's Karen. I wonder how she did this last week. She's here, so it couldn't have been good news.
Not as well as Ryan's doing.
There you go. Well, she still has Rockford and Las Vegas yet to go. 1987 PBA Rookie of the Year. Still waiting to reach that potential.
Yeah.
Have a feeling once he breaks through and wins, it could happen on an annual basis.
It's possible. He has a style that's hard to keep repeating.
Speaking of repeating, Norm Duke does, and don't forget, coming up this Friday night, you can't miss this. In order to get to March Madness, we have to have Midnight Madness. That's right, NCAA college basketball opens up practice. And of course, Dick Vitale, my good buddy Bill Raftery, will be covering a number of different college programs that night, and it's going to be fun. It's all starting 12:01.
12:01.
Yeah, hit the floor, start running the wind sprints. I want to see Vitale going up and down the floor. That's what I want to see.
Well, it keeps the match close. Duke proving that he's human, leaving a few taps here and there now. Cross lane at the 10 pin. Like you say, basically a backup ball at it.
Did you ever try anything like that, Mike?
I do it straight enough naturally then.
In other words, when you shot cross lane, you lifted with all of your might at the 10 pin. Pretty much.
I usually have pretty good success at knocking it down.
I understand.
I got enough practice. Well, nice shot.
Starting to get into this pair of lanes.
He's starting to feel more comfortable with himself. Deeper than Duke. Closer to the fourth arrow. Nice reaction, though. And again, the opportunity to even the match with a strike right here.
Could have been a disastrous evening for Ryan Shafer, who had an accident.
Yes.
And squirted a little glue up near his eye trying to replace a grip. And
super glue.
Yeah, told me he's all right, but it was kind of a scary situation. He's got a very sore red left eye.
Talk about dicing him up, Denny. I'll tell you, watch this ball. Over the fourth arrow, light in the pocket. Ooh.
In your quest to master the perfect bowling score, Columbia introduces the new Power Torque. It's beyond reactive. Columbia bowls the world over.
How a count eats a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I like to eat the peanut butter first.
There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
The real triumph of this year's newest sleek Euro design is how much fun it gives to the gallon. Introducing the all-new water-saving shower massage.
First prize in this week's Greater Detroit Open, a check for $23,000. Second place, $12,000. And some co-proprietors that just have done an outstanding job.
Oh, this place looks marvelous, Dan. They spent a lot of money fixing this place up, and it just looks wonderful.
Facility just is just absolutely beautiful here in Taylor, Michigan. During that timeout, Mike and I were discussing that shot right there, maybe even the next one. You felt strongly about the fact that Norm Duke needed to come up with a couple of strikes here because Ryan Shafer all of a sudden starting to get nice and loose and lanky on this pair of lanes.
And Ryan throws that power ball, and when he starts striking, he may never stop. And Duke knows that. Duke now is trying to figure out a way to get the 10-pin out on this left lane.
Mike, you made a very interesting observation. The last time when he left the half 10, I think you were dead right. He got the ball into the oil a little early, and it didn't react. Now, this time, watch the difference.
This is just a better quality execution. Gets it around a little bit into the dry, and now when it sucks to the pocket, it's just flush.
Back to Ryan Shafer in the 7th on a double down by 10, trying to get back to even. Line of that 6-pin rip around the 10.
But did you watch his body English on that? I mean, he wasn't sure it was going to strike. He got it in, again, I think, in the oil. These reactive resin balls, when you get into oil, they want to slide. You know, as Larry explained, they're turning sideways and going forward at the same speed. I mean, he's going about 20 miles an hour. He's not really confident. He's looking only at the 10. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. Concentration.
Well, if there is some consolation, at least at this point in time, it's the fact that he's bowling a very solid game. He's averaged only 186 in his other championship round appearances, far below what his capabilities are.
He's got to get back right on the strike track, though, here, Dan. I mean, Duke has lined up. It's just been strike or 10-pin with Norm.
Needs a break. Got one, and the fact that there was nothing other than the 10-pin, but he couldn't knock it down.
See, the reason that happened, Dan, was because of the solid 10. There was an emotional letdown. There wasn't the same intensity and concentration and quality of shot on that execution right there.
You almost feel like you have to make up for a shot or maybe even overcook it because...
If he'd have struck there, that 10-pin would have cost him 21 pins, and pro bowlers know that.
Ryan Shafer running out of time. Norm Duke would like to put the finishing touches on his second consecutive win.
Like I said before, he knows how to play in match play competition.
Like that one the moment it left his fingertips. And he has moved ever closer to getting an opportunity to bowl Walter Ray.
What's the follow-through? Boy, I didn't like the follow-through, but I sure like the result. Pooh.
Bang. 259 still a possibility for Norm Duke, who started the championship round with a 279 game.
Yeah, and I wonder what Walter Ray is thinking over there.
Good question. He's probably thinking he's going to have to throw some strikes. Look at this, double teaming of the 10, and the entire posse couldn't get the job done.
He had it double teamed in the corner, but he got out of it.
A trapping defense on the 10-pin, but no turnover.
Now watch the head pin. We know that's one of them. There's the head, and it's a 5. You had the 1 and the 5 going back up. That was the 5 that missed it first, and the head pin came afterwards. The 5 touched it.
Looked like a log rolling contest over there.
Well, it's still a match. Hey, Ryan Shafer can take this out the sheet. He finishes with 227. That would make Duke strike first ball in the 10th.
A little wide, but he shakes him up and strikes on lane 40.
I'll tell you what. If he can take it out the sheet here and get to 227, even if he doesn't win the match, it'll do wonders for his confidence. time.
A lot of loft. A lot of pin action.
He's better off staying there, I'll tell you what. That light, those pins just fight to get down. Everybody in the family probably react together. Yep.
It's Team Shaefer right now.
Yeah, they all know how to keep score, believe me, so they know what he needs.
It's a tremendous bowling family. Yeah, you're right.
There's the big shot right here. Will he trust this one like the last one?
Way right. That was out of bounds.
Yeah.
Went for the big sweeping hook. Norm Duke with a quick glance of the score, and Ryan already knows what the score is.
See the problem with a controlled swing and a power swing like that is under pressure you have a tendency to make things faster and jerkier and not as smooth. And the ball goes offline. Duke has a much more fluid swing, straighter swing. I would think, just have a much better advantage under pressure.
So Ryan Shafer can't quite get the job done, but you'll see two title fights when we finish up here. They're calling it a double championship tonight. Welterweight championship fights coming your way on Top Rank Boxing from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And let's see, what would Norm Duke be? Would he be a welterweight? No.
I don't think he'd be up that high.
Flyweight?
That category. Let's see, Norm Duke's weight is 123 then, so welterweight's up around 140 something. So.
Okay. You have to pick up a few pounds. Yeah. Maybe he could fight with the ball.
I'll tell you what, he can weigh anything he wants right now. He's got Walter Ray's attention right now. 279, now possible 238.
And plus Walter Ray knows what kind of a competitor and match play bowler Norm Duke is. But hey, if you're going to tie a record, one of the great records of all time, you might as well do it against a player of this nature.
I'll never forget when George Pappas won the Tournament of Champions back in 1979. He had to beat Dick Ricker. He said he wanted to bowl Ricker because Ricker, he thought, was the best at the time.
And, at that point in time, Pappy was the first player to lead that tournament from start to finish and win on the television show.
Yeah.
Not an easy accomplishment, I can tell you that right now. Duke putting the finishing touches on a second straight win. Ryan up off the bench with a congratulatory handshake for Ryan Shafer. A third-place finish for the second year in a row. Well, maybe next year here at Taylor Lanes, the third time will be the charm for Ryan Shafer. When we come back, championship frame.
Showtime.
Jordan drives again. Everyone's seen Michael Jordan like this. But now, Sports Illustrated gives you a closer look at one of sports' most celebrated heroes.
I'm just a country boy from North Carolina.
It's a fascinating new video called Michael Jordan Airtime. And it's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. The best way to get inside the action and intensity of sports every week. With every sentence, every picture, you'll get right into the heart-pounding excitement, the raw power, with action that unfolds right before your eyes. Call now, and we'll also take you inside Michael's remarkable world.
Let's watch Jordan. I think he's talking to Mutombo.
I told him I was going to shoot this with my eyes closed. As you know, I closed my eyes and shot it and made it. And I told him, welcome to the NBA.
Experience all the fantastic plays and incredible moves. The fun and the fury. It's a unique look at Michael Jordan's amazing talent.
The rim seems like a big old huge bucket.
And it comes with a full year of Sports Illustrated, including the swimsuit issue for only $1.39 an issue. Save over 52% off the cover price. Spend a year with Michael as you get into the life of the NBA's brightest star.
Hey, that was a good dude. Did you do that? That was pretty damn good.
Your video's free when you subscribe to Sports Illustrated, the magazine more than 24 million readers get into every week. Call now for your free Michael Jordan Airtime video. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Nobody plays basketball like Michael Jordan, and nobody gets into sports like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Championship Ram is brought to you by Midas, where you can get same-day brake service because your brakes can't wait. All right, let's start with match number 1. Steve Jaros in the 10th.
On the left lane right here. His first strike in the 10th. He's going to wrap up the match for him. And that was it. Here's his reaction. He goes on to win 279 to 248. Mike Shady, valiant in defeat, just not quite enough.
Had that solid 9 in the 8th, and that was his undoing. On to the second game, and Norm Duke now had a chance for a perfect game.
Starting with the first 9, finishing on his good lane, whistling 10. He's looking at it. Come on, baby. Oh, I knew it.
So for the second straight game, a 279 was the winner. Over 236 from Steve Jaros. On to the semifinal, and Norm Duke had a little easier time of it this trip.
And this is his first strike in the 10th. Basically needed to show up. Quality shot. Right solid in the pocket. 9-pin a little late falling. Very confident man heading into the title match.
238, 211. Ryan Shafer third. Norm Duke will move along. And we'll move along with the rest of the top 24 this week. Dave Ferraro, a top seed last week, was 6th. And Dave Arnold, also on the show last week, was 7th.
You see the people keep bowling well. Joe Furpo was leading this tournament for a while. And Pete Weber. Haven't heard from him in a while.
Rounding out the top 10, lefty Eric Forkel, and Mike Miller was 11th.
Dave DeAntremont from Cleveland and Del Ballard.
Kelly Kaufman, who threw all the strikes last week, was 14th, and Brian Goebel, number 15.
In 16th, the great Mark Roth. We talked a lot about him tonight, and Ernie Schlegel.
Justin Romick, 18th, and John Frost was 19th.
And Tony Westlake in the number 20 position, Brad Kazuski in 21.
Elsewhere down the line, the defending champion, Emilio Monticelli, 22nd, Doug Spicer, 23rd.
And Steve Hoskins was in 24th, and our alternate was good old Butch Silver.
All right, we're ready. Walter Ray's ready. Norm's ready. Mark Roth is probably watching to see if Walter Ray will tie his record of 8 victories in a season.
My dandruff and itch are awful. I'll try anything. Denorex tingles. Head and Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles.
That's why I started using Denorex. No flakes, no itch.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
At Radio Shack, we've always made the latest technology easy to understand for your family. And now our CD-ROM computers make it easy to bring entire libraries to life. Experience the power of Tandy multimedia computers. Only at Radio Shack.
Introducing the Dremel Moto tool. You cut, we cut. You sharpen, we sharpen. You polish, we polish. You drill, we drill. You clean, we clean. You sand, we sand. You grind, we grind. You hammer. Did I mention we cut? The Dremel Moto tool, with more than 150 available accessories. Why settle for some 2-bit Christmas gift?
One name that's always on the job. Arrow. The Arrow T50 staple gun for insulation and 1,001 household uses. The hot melt glue gun with automatic lever feed for home repairs and arts and crafts. T50 staple gun hot melt glue gun. Arrow. You'll grow attached.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Now, fans, I want you to take a good, hard look at these numbers here because they are really impressive.
Well, we talked about how he gets out so quickly. And in his championship matches this year, 18 times starting with a strike, 14 with a double, 10 with a triple, and 8 times with a 4-bagger or better.
That's placing some serious heat on your opponents early on.
Well, that's how you win championship matches, especially from the top spot, which he's 4-2 this year. And one of the ones he lost, you know, his opponent bowled 299 at him, so he bowled 268 that game. Duke, hitting both lanes, but seems to like 40 a little better, and he gets the finish there this game.
Opens with the hot hand, a beautiful strike on lane 39.
Boy, he's just getting out of every ball so cleanly.
Walter Ray never wastes a whole lot of time. Throws this one right smack dab through the nose, and that's not what we anticipated.
6, 7, 10 right out of the gate. Well, we talked about him getting off to fast starts, and this is not the fast start that he wanted. He's going to go for this all the way down. Very accurate player. They don't call him Deadeye for nothing.
Gives it a run. A little too much. Walter Ray wearing a wireless mic, so we'll try and get some feel for what's going through his mind, but this is unbelievable here. In championship matches, 10 of them, 100 frames, just 2 opens coming into tonight.
And in all of his TV appearances, 210 frames, only had 6, and he starts with an open here.
Comes back with a strike. Well, it's going to be an uphill battle all the way, I suspect, against Norm Duke now that he has an edge.
Well, Norm Duke, you know, is like a shark smelling blood. You know, he sees that open, and he's ready to capitalize on it right now. Just drilled Walter Ray. That's the last thing I expected him to throw right to the nose. You know, I wonder if the pressure of the match and the opponent, suddenly that's the first ball he's thrown to the nose.
Uncharacteristic miss left. First time we've seen that, even close to that tonight.
Yeah.
Was he squeezing to try and make sure he got the double?
Definitely. And he chops that 6 off the 10. It looked to me like that 6 was a little bit off there. Right away, he gives it right back to Walter Ray. So we got an even match now with 10 frames to go.
Forget the high scores momentarily, but Walter Ray with a huge break courtesy of Norm Duke.
Well, that's what happens when you're in a position to try to tie a record. You know, maybe you need those breaks like that. That is a big break.
Then a 10-pin on his good lane, the left-hand lane. Well, what do you want to bet me right now that when Walter Ray steps up on lane 40, he doesn't come away with a double?
I'll tell you, he's just been doing it all year long. We'll find out. Although Walter Ray is not as confident on this pair of lanes right now as he'd like to be. He was more confident earlier in practice. I watched the last couple of practice shots on the right lane, and the right lane is confusing him a little bit. No time at all. Good speed. Good result.
Told you.
Yeah, well, you know, you don't win an average 253 or whatever for the last 10 games without doing something right.
This guy's making the adjustments from shot to shot and lane to lane as well as anybody maybe right now in the history of the game. I'd say the only player that maybe did it better in his prime might have been Earl. Earl was sensational.
Well, this guy has a couple more weapons, though. I mean, he can throw it harder and hook it more than Earl could.
For 3 in a row. Tried to wave this one off, and now he's through the nose on the left-hand lane.
And he thought that was flush. That reactive resin bowling ball stand, when they start hooking, they go left, right through the nose. Doesn't get the break. He's going for this one, too. Not enough. 9 outs and 2 opens. He's only had 6 in the last 210 frames, and he's got 2 and 4 here. And Norm Duke gets it handed right back to him.
What a turn of events in this one. Duke chases him around a little bit on lane 40 and ends up with a shaker strike. Leads by 4, could increase it to 14.
Right now, neither player is playing their A game. It's the player that can step forward and seize the moment and the opportunity that's going to win.
Norm Duke with a double. A 14-pin lead. And now it's up to Walter Ray to try and put a couple of strikes together.
Well, he did it, but he got to stay off that nose, Dan. He's moved again.
Deeper, more hook. It needs some carry, and he gets it.
Did you see that ball roll out? That ball quit right at the pocket. Man, that's as much as I've seen Walter Ray hook the ball. Watch him now. He's moving left almost every shot. He's going to move left again on this left lane. Slides. Left to the third arrow, out to maybe the ninth four. Now watch the ball quit right here. Just barely gets the 4-5-7 pin. He needs a double, Denny.
Trying to trim into the lead, comes up, needs a break, doesn't get it. 7-pin stands, and Walter Ray right now in a very precarious position.
Yeah, he's definitely not looking good. He can't get the ball flush. Light again. Boy, he had a lot of pins up there. That's the 2-pin spinning around. Gets the 7, but he's falling further and further behind. And he knows it. Frames are slipping by.
And they'll move even faster if Norm Duke gets another one right here.
Yeah. He's just too confident for him right now. He's got a better line to the pocket. Walter Ray has got to really make perfect shots to get it there, and he's not getting the breaks. He's gone high twice and got 2 splits. 24 pins the difference, 4 frames to go.
The pressure he has to be feeling, though, coming into this event, Mike, to lead the tournament, to try and get to the record, it's a lot of heat.
It's a lot of heat. Oh, kick that 4-7 out of there. See, that wasn't that much different than Walter Ray's 4-10 hit. But that one got a strike. He's watching. Ooh. Pennies from heaven.
That are going to turn into dollars from Detroit. Walter Ray trying to figure out a way to strike, and it's not going to happen here tonight. Ran into a pair of lanes that changed a little bit. Boy, when he first started practicing, he did nothing but strike.
I know, but the ball's rolling out of the pocket. It's just not hitting with any power down there, Dan.
He's caught in between right now. Well, normally this year, Walter Ray has just been absolutely spectacular down the stretch in terms of closing out opponents. But tonight, 2 opens, 2 strikes. And he needs to make it number 7.
Yeah, right now. He better make it number 7 right now, I'll tell you. He's just lost the reaction. He moves the board left and won't make it. He moves back right. It's 2 splits.
You know, I think what really is being shown here is how difficult the game can be for the best player in the world right now who leads a tournament, comes out, and you have a hard time shooting 200 on a pair of lanes where the other guy is locked in.
Yep. See, he doesn't have the right ball in his hands for the pair net. That's exactly what it is. And he tried a number of different balls. He made that choice. But you get into this situation, those frames go by quickly, and you don't know what a new ball will do.
Meanwhile, Norm Duke knows exactly what his is doing. Yeah, gets honed in for the 1-3. Norm Duke going to stroll to a victory here, and boy, we spent all that time and energy trying to build this one up, and it just didn't happen tonight.
Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Well, we did talk at the top of the show that Norm Duke had the best chance to defeat him. He had the most confidence, the most experience, and the most moxie.
Got started quickly. Walter Ray couldn't really do much, and Norm Duke is gliding right now to a victory. Walter Ray appreciates his game tonight.
As Walter said in the interview, that even without the 8th victory here, as he changes hand releases a little bit, goes straighter, you know, that he's bowled tremendous this year. He has nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it's just one of those things.
A disgusted Walter Ray Williams, who's averaged 253 his last 11 games in the championship round. Well, he'll bounce back, of course, next week Touring Players Championship in Indianapolis, and of course the Brunswick Memorial World Open.
A lot of money in those 2 tournaments.
Still a lot could happen. He's got 2 more chances to tie the record.
Obviously, a good opportunity to maybe catch Mike Alby's all-time earnings record.
Well, he'd had a better chance to win tonight, but he's got to go. 3 7-pins in this game, Dan. And 2 splits just wasn't meant to be.
Fans really appreciative of the effort throughout the week as Paige looks on, and she's had a lot of fun this year watching Walter Ray be successful, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. He'll go to 4-3 from the top seed position this year. 4-11 in his career, and you don't really need to say too much more about the way he's feeling right now.
Disappointed man, but a very happy young man right here. A well-earned victory. He bowled superbly tonight.
I'll tell you what, if the truth be known, Norm Duke probably would have wished that Walter Ray bowled a heck of a game. This guy's a competitor, and he thrives in this situation. You know, it's no fun to see somebody go out there and shoot a game like that. But for Norm Duke, a brilliant performance tonight, winning 3 matches and, of course, the title.
Got enough power.
Well, they were chanting Duke, Duke, Duke in the pregame warm-ups, and that's what they got tonight. A lot of Norm Duke, who you can see right now is beginning to relish this victory.
Well, he's a very confident person. I'll tell you what. It's amazing to me he hasn't won more than he has.
You're not the last person that said that. Norm Duke with a lopsided victory over the shoe-in player of the year, Walter Ray Williams, Jr.
Or you got to take the report.
Sometimes you need to take them away from the TV and video games, whether they want to leave or not. Because sometimes you can show them things they'll never find in their room at home. And sometimes you can teach them things that are worth learning just from you. And sometimes they can find something in themselves that they never knew they had. Bowling at BPAA Centers. It's a whole lot more than a game.
Clearview Lanes in Mount Joy.
Win with the Lilac. The Lilac City Tournament plans to pay over $1 million this year.
Bowl and have fun in Rochester, New York.
Enter the high-paying men's team event,
the women's team event,
and the mixed team event. Win with the Lilac. There are 18 great events, including doubles and singles for men, women, and mixed.
We plan to pay out over $1 million.
Call 1-800-36-LILAC now. Win with the Lilac.
Watching those SEC games on ABC. But sometimes I like a little variety, whether it be Big Ten, Pac-10, even Big 8. You know what I'd really like? To make my own choice.
Here are this Saturday's games. If your favorite ABC game is not available locally, you can order it on pay-per-view. ESPN ABC College Football Pay-Per-View. The only way to see it all.
The championship round finals of the Greater Detroit Open are being brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Great win for you tonight over a tremendous champion. It was a tough match for him.
Well, you can't say enough about Walter Ray Williams this year. He's just been in dead stroke. If you're going to win a title, you're going to have to beat him right now. And, you know, you kind of feel for a guy when he leads and he bowls as well as he did all week. But I've been in that situation, too, so I'm happy for myself.
Okay, let's move along now to the presentation. All right.
Great bowling, Norm. Wish we could have sold that 300, but congratulations anyway. Great win. Thank you very much. I'd like a special thanks to Bill and Adeline DiBiase, along with Ted and Leona Dobbins, the proprietors here. Newly renovated Taylor Lanes. If you haven't seen it and you're in the area, come by. It's a beautiful center.
Yes, and they do have open bowling a little bit later on this evening. Adeline, you also have a check.
Yes, here's something for the pot, right there.
$23,000.
This is something for my wife. Here, honey.
Well, we'll get to that when we come back, all right? Norm Duke, a terrific winner here tonight at Taylor Lanes. We'll be right back after these messages.
In your quest to master the perfect bowling score, Columbia introduces the new Power Torque. It's beyond reactive. Columbia bowls the world over.
Reincarnation. The belief you can come back as just about anything. Why do some guys have all the luck? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. Because while luck may run out,
Happy birthday, Grandma.
For me.
true refreshment won't.
At Radio Shack, we've always made the latest technology easy to understand for your family. And now our CD-ROM computers make it easy to bring entire libraries to life. Experience the power of handy multimedia computers. Only at Radio Shack.
Critics call it the new feel-good hit of the season. It's hot and pulsing. It's warm and misty. A must experience for the entire family. Introducing the new shower massage. If you only take one shower this year, this should be it.
Big victory for Norm Duke, 247 to 179. Mike Durbin, do you have a question for Norm?
Norm, I'm wondering, you bowled two real good games and you came on, Walter Ray was coming over. Did you know or did you feel that he was going to have trouble with the pair? Were you really confident against him, or did you expect a 230 or 240 out of him?
Well, I made a big mistake in the second frame. I moved a little to the right and did make a good pitch and chopped the spare. And when I did that, I figured that I'm mathematically out of the match. That's just the way Walter is. And like you saw him, he took advantage of it. And then lanes just change every shot. And if you're there and you're lucky, then you can overcome it.
So you were pretty confident then? Huh?
Pretty lucky.
Pretty lucky. Okay.
You had the Durbin jinx placed on your shoulders before the show even started, because you said if any one of the four players he felt could maybe beat Walter Ray tonight, it would be you because of your moxie and your match play experience. Did you think that had something to do with the win tonight?
Well, he had already given it to Walter Ray, so I figured that was on my side.
That's an easy choice this year.
I didn't know I had that much power, I'll tell you.
Has to be exciting for you and your wife, of course. Is this the first time you've seen him win?
No, at the Masters this year I was there.
Oh, so it's become like a weekly thing for you now.
Yeah.
We're at least over 50% now, so I'm bringing her along.
All right, what about next week? Touring Players Championship over in Indianapolis. It's been really, it's hard for us to talk about some of the other players because of the great year that Walter Ray has had, but you're having a solid year yourself.
Well, it's solid, and I haven't bowled as much this year as in the past, and so I have to be more productive when I'm out, and so I'm looking forward to the next 3 weeks and finish the year off good.
Let me put you on the spot. Walter Ray's got 2 more chances to tie Mark's record or maybe break the earnings record. Do you think he can do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As long as it's not against you.
Well, I tell you what, we all like to be the best, and you don't want to beat the rookie. You want to beat Walter Ray when he's bowling good, and this makes this extra special.
I had a feeling he was going to say that. A great champion, a great performance. Thank you so much for joining us this evening from Taylor, Michigan. Next stop on the 1993 PBA Fall Tour will be at Woodland Bowl, located in Indianapolis. For the Touring Players Championship Finals, that all starts at 7:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday, November 3rd. Don't forget, coming up next on Top Rank Boxing, a special double championship affair from Atlantic City, New Jersey. The